In the Can. We decided to extend our coverage to day 7 because we still have an abundant amount of content to show as far as films, filmmakers, lounges, people that we're going to be talking to and have talked to but haven't had an opportunity to show to you yet. So we are excited to be back for one more day of In the Can. Happy that you're here with us. It is Wednesday, January 26th. In fact, let's take a look outside. It's a beautiful morning, chilly, frosty out there, but very nice to see the lights up there on the slopes. The town is waking up and we are happy to be here. And let's take a look at who we'll be talking to on our show for today. We'll be speaking with the Chase Sapphire Lounge, all about how they have been sponsoring panels throughout the Sundance Film Festival with the LA Times, and also why they consistently year after year decide to support filmmakers and festivals. Well, that will be later on in our show, followed by Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. I had the opportunity to speak with the writer, director, and producer of this film. It's getting quite a lot of buzz, has some big name stars in it. People are loving this film, and I watched it and enjoyed it very much. It's hilarious, but also very heartfelt. So looking forward to that interview, followed by Culture Beat. This is premiering in the indie episodic section of the festival, a very unique take on modern culture. So I was speaking with Andrew Hyland about that. Followed by a Fast Foodies. This is back for season 2. Excited to be speaking with a host and a judge. Professional chefs who get to judge contestants. If you haven't seen it, they try to replicate an exact fast food dish, and then the judges see how they're doing, and that's how they win the competition. So that is back for another season. We'll be speaking with them. We'll also take a look at the weather and much, much more. So that's what you will primarily see on In the Can today. Another beautiful shot from our roof cam of our nice morning here. We're going to take a quick break and get right back to all of those things right after this. Welcome back. Right now we get to discuss an incredible film that many people are talking about. It's creating quite a buzz within the Sundance Film Festival this year, and it's called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. I have the director and producer joining me today. So excited for both of them to be here. I have Adama Ebo joining us, as well as Adon A. Thank you, both of you. How are you?
Doing well.
Doing great.
Glad
How
to
are
be here.
you?
Very excited to talk with you both, to be honest. I watched the film and absolutely loved it. So I want to start with Adama. Tell me more about the film, how it was conceived, and what made you decide to create a film about this topic.
Definitely. I mean, we were both raised Southern Baptist and sort of like the height of megachurch culture, and you know, sort of had our tussles with it growing up, and I think, you know, that constant questioning as young people, and sort of being in tune with the things that felt like hypocritical to us, really sort of sparked this idea at first.
And I love how it's done in this faux documentary style. I really appreciated the humor that brought into it, but also that perspective. So tell me more about the decision to have this be fictionalized in that way.
Yeah, I really was interested in exploring what was truth and what was not truth, and also all the gray areas in between that. And a lot of times people take documentaries and what documentarians are saying as fact. And I was really interested in exploring what a set of people would be like who weren't sort of portraying their true selves while the documentary cameras were rolling, versus when the cameras are off, getting the realness from them.
And Adane, tell me more about your role as producer in this film and what made you want to be a part of it.
You know, familial connection, obviously. But more than that, I think my role as a creative producer and one of the lead producers was really to dig into the creative. I read every draft of every script, every draft of the script, and gave comprehensive notes of every draft of the script, and you know, really wanted to make sure that we crafted and honed a comprehensive story for this. And I also was instrumental in casting,
Yeah, everything,
all the creative stuff. We're filmmaking. She's the writer and director, of course, but we're a filmmaking team, so kind of in lockstep every step of the way.
Yeah.
And this question is for both of you. I'd love to hear more about your experiences growing up with religion, because this film very much examines that mega church, that type of religion in Black culture. So did that really impact your lives, especially when you were younger, leading to where you are now?
It did, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a complicated relationship, or we grew up having a complicated relationship with it, because there were definitely aspects of the church that we loved and still do love. But then there were other aspects that we found hard not to critique. And so growing up, it wasn't very much encouraged to question religion or question the church or question your faith. And our disillusionment with that is kind of how we got to where we are now, which I think we're in a more balanced place with definitely. Everything now.
But we figured out how to incorporate the aspects of our personal faith and of organized religion the way that serves us best and makes us the happiest, while also giving ourselves like the room and the grace to distance ourselves from the aspects that we don't like or don't think bring us a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I'll also say that the church, particularly the Black church, is more than religion for us, and it's more than religion for like the Black community, us being Black Americans from Atlanta, being American Nigerians. It's also cultural. And so that was a big part of not wanting to divest from it completely, because outside of it being religion, it's also a cultural connectivity that we would be missing out on and that we didn't want to miss out on.
Well, I think the film does an excellent job doing exactly what you mentioned, calling out some problematic issues with religion while also, having some fun with it, but still being respectful. And I also think that the mock documentary style really brings that about, where you can laugh, but it's not in a mocking way. You really still are able to see the genuineness in these characters. So I really think you did such a great job balancing all of these different elements. Was that hard to do?
I don't think so, and I think it's because
it was important for us.
It was important for us to do, and I don't think it was too difficult, because we do have that duality within ourselves. We do have both that respect and that critical eye for the institution, and a lot of love for it as well. Mm-hmm. And so I think it felt very natural to do both. But I will say that it's why we approached it more of what we're calling a faux documentary format rather than mockumentary. And me and my DP, Alan Wazowski, really worked hard to establish what that was going to look like, because, in mockumentaries, a lot of the times the camera is sort of in on the joke or like winking at the audience. And we wanted this to feel much more like a real documentary where it's just observational. And that was, I think, really big in establishing, the humor but respectful tone of these institutions.
And I also think it's on a character level. It was important for us to make sure that these characters, while they are bombastic and sometimes ridiculous and they are funny, they feel real. They don't feel like caricatures. They feel like real people.
And your cast did an incredible job. Really, they made this film as well and were able to create that balance that we're talking about.
Yeah, 100%. They were on board, and it definitely helped having lead characters, really supporting cast too, who had a relationship with the church
but a similar one where they felt like that love and respect for it, but we're also like, there's some things that I just don't jive with.
Yeah.
And there's also some really fun symbolism in this film. And of course, we don't want to give anything away, but like hot sauce is a great symbol. And tell me a little bit more about that and why you decided to utilize these symbols.
Yeah, I just really like hot sauce. But I also, hot sauce to me, the best hot sauce to me sort of sneaks up on you. You know, you get that tang or that sweetness at first, and then you get a little bit of that heat. And I think that's what this film does, is it sort of sneaks up on you. You get like the sweetness, the tanginess at first,
the fun stuff,
you know, the comedy. And then as the film goes on and the tone starts to like mix and shift a little bit, you get a lot more of that heat and you get a lot more of that realness.
And how does it feel in your journey as a filmmaker and producer to have this film debuting at Sundance? I know you're getting great feedback, but is this a bit surreal for you both?
It is. I don't think we've really had time for anything to set in yet. It feels very surreal, but
also kind of full circle though.
It does.
Because the project did the Sundance Labs, and Sundance has been incredibly supportive.
Yeah.
They really do walk the walk with their labs and their artist support programs. But I don't think it's fully hit us yet.
It's just you know, this is we've wanted to tell stories for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely wanted to do it for a living and get paid for it. And so I think it hasn't quite hit us yet that it's being like seen on a worldly view.
That it's out in the world.
Yeah, it's the first thing.
Yeah,
it's the first thing.
And you can watch this film at Sundance right now, but can you tell us what's next for this film?
Hopefully, you know, the goal is to get distribution, and so that it can come to a much wider audience, hopefully a theatrical audience.
It's definitely one of those films that I think is like,
it
feels really dope with an audience.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're gunning for.
And I have no doubt that's going to happen. Audiences are loving this film. And also, quickly, what is next for the two of you? What are you working on?
We have our next feature written. We're very excited about that, and we have a couple of TV shows in development. So a lot coming down the pipeline. We're excited.
But just excited to be working and keeping creative.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Adama and Adane, for joining us today. Really great speaking with you both. Once again, I loved the film, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. Make sure to watch it if you can for the Sundance Film Festival. Also, I know that you'll be able to see it soon after in other ways as well. So we really appreciate both of them and their time today spending with us. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back. Right now we're going to take a look at our weather right here in Park City. It's, as I mentioned, a cold morning, but you see the sun has already come up quite a bit since the beginning of our show. Looking to be a beautiful day. Lots of blue skies out there. In fact, let's take a look at our current temperatures. It is right now 6 degrees, warming up to 30 degrees and 6 degrees overnight. Some nice symmetry with that forecast today. Partly cloudy skies. We won't see any snow today. That has moved on, but the good thing is that has helped Salt Lake City get some cleaner air down there, so that will be nice for the next few days. But in the meantime, up here, let's take a look at the next 5 days. See what you can expect after today. Gets a little bit cooler, down to 28, but sunny skies, which is very nice. And then up to 34 on Friday. That low is down to only 2 degrees. A little warmer on Saturday as you head into the weekend, that high being 40 degrees. The low 12, and then Sunday 38, and the lows 13. Does look like there's going to be a little bit of a blip of a storm, is what I'll call it right now, on Monday. Nothing too serious, unfortunately. But the high is 32, the low is 14. We are hopeful that maybe that Monday storm is going to usher in a more active weather a month, so fingers crossed we'll get some more storms maybe in the next week or so, but we'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, dry, cold, but a beautiful day here, Bluebird Day, that you enjoy wherever you are. I hope that you're having a nice weather. We are going to take a quick break and get right back with the Chase Sapphire Lounge right after this. Welcome back. We have many great galleries along Main Street here in Park City. If you haven't visited any of them, I highly recommend that you do just that. In fact, Park City fine art artist Jordan Daines, we get to meet her today. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Jordan Daines. I am a contemporary painter. I'm based out of Utah and I work primarily with oil paint. I'm fairly obsessed with color, saturation, texture, and the perception that it creates in my work. It's the common thread that goes through everything. My work ranges from representational to abstract. My work kind of nods to different artists. I'm really interested in artists, abstract expressionists like Gerhard Richter and Richard Diebenkorn. You can see that in a lot of my more landscape-esque paintings, and then Wayne Thiebaud, Warhol for my more pop art. And then I kind of take things from those artists. With the pop art, I love the color, of course, the color, the texture, the cultural references. And then with the abstract expressionists, I love the creative process, which my work is a lot about process, and you can see that. I work in layers, and I have to work fast because it's oil paint. Oil paint still dries slower than other paint, but it gets tacky. So I do a first layer really thin, and then the second layer, and that second layer has become more important in my later pieces. Sometimes it's just like I just do like the whole background, and lately I've been doing little pops of color where I don't know exactly where, well, I know where I'm putting it, but I don't know what's going to come through. So I do that thinner layer, and then I cover it all with the really thick textural, really scooping up loading up my palette knife and laying it down. It ends up with a fully finished painting, and then I add the last step, which is taking my palette knife and either running it straight through, and then I have different works where I'll do different designs, and that creates the finished piece. And it's always something that I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna look until I'm finished with that last scrape. I really like hearing what people have to say about my work. Because I'm the artist, it means something to me, but I am more interested in what it means to the person viewing the art. I've heard a lot of different things. I mean, my work very much is landscape with the straight lines like aspen groves. I hear a lot of that. But I've had people also take, something that could be an aspen grove and then turn to the side, and then it just makes it fully abstract. So I really appreciate the viewer's interpretation of my work. I have some flowers that I've painted where people see different flowers. Then I have these other just really kind of gestural, kind of just more scooping paint out, and I hear poppies, or I hear like leaves, looking up or looking down. Anyway, so it's what I talked about earlier about the perception that the color, the texture, the saturation. I've had people tell me they'll see the painted part as the tree and the scrape part as the background. And then other people will see it vice versa. So it's like an optical illusion. I really appreciate that, and that's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Welcome back. Right now we have the opportunity to speak with Andre Hyland from Culture Beat. This is in the Indie Episodic Pilot Program of the festival this year. Really interesting, unique show. Andre, thanks for being here. How are you?
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
So this is actually, I believe, your 4th time at the festival as a filmmaker. So before we talk about Culture Beat, tell me about some of your previous times here at the festival.
Sure. The first time I went, I had a short film called Funnel that I wrote and directed and starred in. And then I came back, that was 2014. Then 2016, I came back with my first feature film that I had written and directed called The Fourth. And then in 2019, I came back with another short film I wrote and directed and starred in called Old Haunt. And then, now this year, Culture Beat that I co-directed with Katal. Called for Indie Episodic. And then I performed in some other films in various roles, from leads to supporting, that also played at the festival in that time. It Happened in LA, and Death of Dick Long, and then anyway, here I am now.
Well, you've been here many times, quite the veteran. We wish we were here with you in person, but tell me a little bit more about Culture Beat.
Culture Beat, well, like I said, it's an indie episodic, so it's a independently made television pilot. And as far as the project itself goes, It is it's saying prank show is kind of, I feel like, too heavy way of putting it, but it's in the prank genre. It's sort of like if the old Ali G show and Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations kind of had like a little combination baby, and that's what came out. And it's a host who is kind of from a lowbrow perspective, investigating highbrow culture. That's the short of it. It's a comedy.
You're right. You're trying to navigate modern culture. And in fact, this episode that is premiering at the festival is all about modern art. Why did you decide to focus the pilot episode on art specifically?
Well, it seemed like, it fit the bill for our lowbrow meeting highbrow, but then for something independently produced, art galleries was sort of an easy, an accessible world to get into with very little, at least as far as the planning of the project goes. But also I have an arts background. I went to school for fine arts, so even though my character might not sorry, I'm like so half brain dead from not sleeping. Even though my character might not know much about it, I do, like right now.
And this episode primarily focuses on art. As we mentioned, you visit a couple of very nice galleries and have some interesting questions for them. But at the same time, sprinkled throughout are some fun little moments where someone's trying to get a Wi-Fi password, there's an interesting recumbent bike thing going on. So that's also provides humor and adds some fun transitions going on as well.
Yeah, there's like I said, it's similar in format to the old Ali G show, as in there's a number of circulating different characters that I play, two of which you see sort of in more traditional, well, not necessarily traditional, but the main thread of the show is a character, interviewing people, and the other two are hidden camera pieces on the street, and it's these sort of two other characters traversing the world with their own fictional story, but it's actually taking place in reality, and kind of whoever crosses paths with them.
It is actually, the whole thing is quite funny. I love the episode that I saw that's premiering here. Will you have a similar format in other episodes? Have you filmed more episodes, and what are they about?
There would be more episodes. Initially, we created a longer episode and then sort of shortened it down to make sort of a presentational version to pitch with. And that actually ended up being what's in the festival. So there's more of the same episode, like more segments to it that haven't been seen yet. But in series, there'd obviously be more episodes, and there'd be sort of arcs through the characters and that sort of thing. And I forgot to mention, it's also produced it's produced with Eric Andre and Kitao Sakurai, who also co-directed it with me, who did like Bad Trip and Eric Andre show. So I'm working with the guys who do a lot of this sort of stuff, and for me it's great because I've been doing this stuff for years and kind of took a break from it, and they sort of pulled me back into it. And if it wasn't for them, basically I was like, they wanted to do a project with me, and then I figured I'm going to do this kind of genre again. These are the guys to do it with,
You seem to all make a great team, producing a really funny, fun show, as I mentioned, but I think you can tell watching it on screen that you all work very well together. Can you tell me any other topics that you'd love to focus on in future episodes?
It'd be fun to investigate like opera and modern dance as these characters. I feel like, or high-end fashion world, I think it'd be really fun to honestly go to any of these. I think, like fish out of water sort of stuff never gets old if it's executed well. So those are some areas I'd like to go. Also like farmers markets, even smaller things like that, which might not necessarily be like highbrow, but it's more sophisticated, I guess, eating habits than the main character has, or I don't know what you want to call it, more conscious eating.
And what type of feedback have you gotten from people that have watched this film so far, or this episode in the festival?
They find it funny, which is good because that's the main goal. But I don't know. Yeah, mostly it's a little. I mostly get texts from people this time. Because I'm not in a theater to sort of observe people reacting or not reacting. But so far, according to the texts I've been receiving and emails, it's been going well.
Andre, how can we find out more about you, what you're working on, and make sure we don't miss out on Culture Beat?
Probably the quickest way to kind of keep up with whatever I'm doing is on Instagram. I'm at the Andre Hyland. It wasn't like an ego thing. I think I signed up for Andre Hyland and forgot, and then thought I couldn't have the account, and it's called the Andre Hyland. But anyway, that's here nor there. That's my little Instagram story. But yeah, Instagram.
Perfect.
And YouTube.
Well, we'll make sure to follow you there. Thank you so much, Andre Hyland, for joining us today. It's been really fun to meet you. Appreciate the time you spent with us. I know you must be very exhausted from all the craziness of this virtual film festival world. But everyone, you can find a Culture Beat during the Indie Episodic program at the Sundance Film Festival. Just head to that website. You can get tickets for it. It's about 6-8 minutes long, I want to say. It's a really funny episode. You're going to want to watch it with all your friends. So thanks to Andre for being here. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back. We're going to take another look at our weather because we know many people are here visiting, and while you might not be watching films in theaters, you might want to go out, hit the slopes, take a hike on one of our trails, or enjoy some Nordic skiing here. So you're going to want to know the weather once again. So beautiful shot from our roof cam as the sun rises. Still very blue skies. Don't see a cloud up there. Just a nice day. They're out there getting everything ready for you, whether you're heading to the local coffee shop or heading out to the slopes. They are ready for you. But currently, right now, it is only 6 degrees. So bundle up, but layer, because the sun, 30 degrees, that's actually going to feel quite warm when we get there later on this afternoon. So be ready for that. Make sure you layer so that you'll be comfortable. 6 degrees is our low overnight with partly cloudy skies and a nice crescent moon right now. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast and see what is happening as we head into our weekend. Now it's just the middle of the week today, but the weekend's right around the corner. And in the meantime, Thursday, high is 28, the low is 6, a little bit cooler tomorrow. And then we warm up for Friday up to 34, but even colder for that low, down to 2 degrees, followed by Saturday looking very nice and warm for here. 40 degrees is the high out of those single digits. For our lows, 12 degrees is the low that day. And then Sunday, just a touch cooler, but very similar to Saturday's temperatures, with the high being 38, the low 13. And then Monday, we may see a bit of a storm that's still a few days out, but it looks to be small right now. But it's a good sign that February is going to bring in more active weather, so we can get some more snow out there. Although conditions are quite nice, I have to admit. 32 degrees is the high on Monday, and the low is 14. So that is our weather right here in Park City. So you are ready for your day, for your rest of the week. In fact, another beautiful shot. Hope that you can get out and enjoy if you're right here locally. We're going to take a break and get back with much more, specifically Fast Foodies, right after this. Welcome back. Right now we are going to focus on True TV's second season of Fast Foodies. Joining us right now is Justin Sutherland and Jeremy Ford to tell us all about this exciting new season. Justin, let's start with you. Tell me about this fun show, which is a really exciting premise that viewers really loved last season. So tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best food show out there. I mean, everybody has a connection to fast food, and I get to hang out with two of the greatest chefs in this country as we reimagine, recreate, and try and copycat some iconic fast food dishes. And we're super excited that we got a season 2.
And Jeremy, tell me more about your role in this show and what you get to do.
I get to cook tiny food and make it look pretty. I definitely plate probably the daintiest out of the three of us, but you know, I'm still learning how to evolve into my next chapter. But season 2 is it's a blast.
And Justin, tell me more about what you get to do in this new season on the show.
I mean, you know, I get to cook alongside Kristen Kish and Jeremy Ford, which is a dream in itself. But, you know, every week we have an amazing celebrity guest come, and they bring their favorite guilty pleasure of fast food. And the three of us get to duke it out and, you know, first try and copycat it and try and make it exactly like that fast food restaurant. And then after that, we get to put our chef hats on and figure out how we would turn this into, you know, a fine dining or a dish at our restaurants. It's a challenge. It's hilarious. There's jokes and antics and lots of drinks. And it's just a lot of fun.
And Jeremy, you won Bravo's Top Chef. You have a restaurant of your own as well. Tell me a little bit more about how this whole experience has changed your life and really changed the trajectory of your career as a chef.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because we always get people that come in to see us that say, "Oh, we're huge Top Chef fans," and now it's been a really cool to see us evolve into, hey, we're huge Fast Foodies fans, and now it's like a whole new story has begun, and yeah, it's always exciting getting to meet everybody who watches the show, because if you're into fast food, I mean, it really does touch into your nostalgic, fun side. So no matter if you're a lawyer, a banker, it doesn't matter who you are. I think we all speak the same language when it comes to food, and fast food is everywhere. It's always going to be a part of, I think, all of our lives. So, yeah.
And Justin, you were on Iron Chef America. You also have your own restaurant that I'd really love to visit with a great name. So tell me a little bit about how your time with reality TV has changed your experiences with your restaurant and as a chef.
I mean, yeah, it's been obviously, a huge platform. I mean, starting with Iron Chef and then Top Chef, and then, being able to be a host of our own show. I mean, it's amazing. Obviously, it gives us good publicity, but it's fun. I love it.
And this question is for both of you. Let's start with you, Jeremy. But what is your favorite thing about participating in this show? A show where contestants are asked to recreate fast food dishes. So for both of you, what do you love about it?
For me, it's a challenge. I mean, there's some times where I literally have to look over and be like, Justin, what are you doing for this challenge? And it's funny because to me, it's really the learning. I get to learn so much stuff from them too, but then also you're learning on your own as well. You're also producing, Michelin star looking food in 45 minutes. So, I think it's pretty incredible what we've created over the last 2 seasons, and just looking into tomorrow and into the lens of what these guys edit. I can't wait to see what they come out with, because it's like there's one thing of filming it and being a part of this show, but there's also how it all twists and turns into the edit, and that's I think what we're so excited to see tomorrow.
And Justin, what about you? What do you love about it?
I mean, I love that we just get to genuinely have fun. I mean, we've all come through the competition gambit of food television and whatnot. And this show, it doesn't take itself too seriously. We get to try new things that we would never, ever try anywhere else. And everybody has a connection to fast food. I mean, whether you eat it now or it's a childhood memory, or there's something in this show for everybody. And, it's fun to cook alongside these guys, have a little friendly competition, but also not take ourselves too seriously.
And speaking of everyone loving fast food, in fact, the Fast Foodies have a cheat day coming up on the 27th. Jeremy, tell me about that.
So if you don't know, Fast Foodies has a national cheat day that we created, okay? And it's in light of season 2. But yeah, this is where everyone gets to come out of the nooks and crannies and expose themselves on the fast food world,
Which is very exciting.
Get whatever you want.
We all want to participate for sure. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy and Justin, for joining us today. Fast Foodies is on premiere. It premieres on Thursday, January 27th on True TV. And thanks so much to Jeremy and Justin for being here today. Make sure that you check it out, watch it, and participate in the Fast Foodies Cheat Day, also on the 27th. We'll be back with more on In the Can after this. Welcome back. Right now we're focusing on the Chase Sapphire Lounge during the film festival, if I can say that correctly. And joining us is Kajul Doshi. She is the Vice President of Events and Sponsorships with Chase Sapphire. Very excited about the incredible work they've been doing with the LA Times throughout the film festival. They have many Q&As and discussions about some of the most talked about films. Kajul, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me, Christine. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well, and I'm excited to talk with you all because Chase Sapphire has supported festivals and independent filmmakers and supported these great discussions for many years. Tell me about why it's a priority of yours.
Absolutely, yes. So Chase Sapphire has been the proud presenting sponsor of the Sundance Film Festival for the last 12 years. We just absolutely love the industry, the creativity, and the innovation that the festival brings through all of these amazing filmmakers and just the talent that they exude. And so it's an incredible opportunity for us, and it's been something that we've been consistently doing for the past 12 years, and we're very excited about it.
So tell me about some of the things that have been happening during this year's film festival.
Yeah, so this year's film festival, we obviously were very excited about being in person, but given the times, I think the festival made a very smart decision in pivoting to virtual. Obviously, the health and safety of all of those that attend, as well as the filmmakers and the talent, is of the utmost importance to all of us. So we pivoted to virtual, and in that virtual, we continue to offer our card members access to a range of events that we traditionally would have given them access to in person, but just now in a virtual capacity. So we've given our card members access to packages that allow them to watch all of the award-winning films during closing weekend. Also, a day pass. So if you can't devote all 10 days from home to watch the festival, we'll give you a day and you can watch as many films as you can. And then lastly, we've also secured a private screening for Cha Cha Real Smooth that is kind of our dinner and a movie experience at home. So not only can you tune in for a private screening, but you can also enjoy DoorDash, who is a partner of ours, as well as a sponsor of the festival. And we'll send you a gift card and you can order dinner and curl up on the couch and enjoy your movie.
And Chase Sapphire is also the sponsor of the LA Times Talks at the Sundance Film Festival. Those have been going really well. I know people are enjoying them virtually. Tell me more about those.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had a partner with the LA Times for the last couple of years that we've been at the festival. They've been lovely. They normally facilitate all of our panels that we do in person in Sapphire on Main Street. Obviously, with the pivot and with the success that we saw in 2021 when we did a fully virtual Sundance Film Festival, we pivoted our panels to be virtual. They're accessible to the public, so anyone can get to them. And they highlight a lot of the highly anticipated films that we're going to be premiering this year, like God's Country, Am I Okay?, The Nanny, and Alice. And so right now they're on the LA Times Talks YouTube channel, so definitely encourage folks to go out there and check it out. It's some really great stuff.
And Kajal, have you been able to participate in any of the festival? Have you been able to see any of these talks, or what do you love about this in particular here at the Film Festival at Sundance?
Well, thankfully I have. From the comfort of home. Had I been on site, I probably would have been working more, but this is actually a blessing in disguise for me. I actually was able to catch a couple of the films, which were absolutely amazing. I personally am a really big fan of the Q&As that happen after the movies, as well as, maybe slightly biased, but our LA Times Talks. Like, it's just amazing to have that insight and access to the filmmakers, the talent, just to see, what went into all of these films and what the thought process was and how, the ideas came about. So just like we like to offer our card members those behind the scenes access, as a avid Sundance Film Festival and obviously part of Chase Sapphire, definitely one of the things I look forward to the most.
And where can we get more information, find these talks, and find more about the benefits that Chase Sapphire members have throughout the festival?
Yeah, so you can access the LA Times Talks via their YouTube channel. If you just go onto YouTube and search for LA Times Talks at the 2022 Sundance Film Festival, all of the panels will be there. We actually have all 5 up as of yesterday. And then if you're looking for additional information on packages available for Sapphire card members, you just log into Ultimate Rewards via chase.com, and you'll see all the other amazing experiences we have to come for our card members this year.
Well, thank you so much, Kajal Doshi, for joining us today from Chase Sapphire. We appreciate your time today and your support of the film festival. That's it for our show In the Can today. We'll be back tomorrow with more at 7 a.m. In the meantime, hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time.